It comes down to one final battleground, as after 11 weeks of competition, the Apex this GT4 Tuesday series heads into its 12th and final round. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to Race and Nexus. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. Joining me in the broadcast booth tonight for one more time after what has been 11 weeks straight for this series, Chris Murphy, as we are at America's National Park of Speed, Road America at Elkhart Lake. And more to the point, this location, based in the town of Plymouth, Sheboygan County, just off of Highway 67 in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, has been a true tour de force in American sports car folklore. It also currently hosts IndyCar, IMSA, Sports Car Club of America, GT World Challenge, Trans Am Series, and the Motor America Superbike Championship. Well, both the Going Pros and the Mid-Pack Larrys have had a title battle that have really been for the ages in this series. And let's have a look at the points. Brian Lemke leads the Going Pros on 177 points, 14 ahead of Michael Brock, with Brian's in a further 11 points behind in P3. Kent Kruger, Jesse Mears, Joseph Mayer, Roman Bykov and Oz Escalou round out your top 8 in the Going Pros. And it is very close. Kyle Mavis just 5 points ahead of Dan Garrido, with Ryan Ryder rounding out your top 3, a further 9 points adrift. Mike Bond, Rob Phelan, Harrison Mealy, Sean Tina and Dylan Foster round out your top 8 Mid-Pack Larrys. More to the point, this particular circuit itself measures just over 4 miles in length and has 14 turns in total. America's National Park of Speed has fast-flowing and technical sections, a real test for all our GT4 drivers tonight. And Chris Murphy, well, welcome back to the booth. I know that Adam Gladfelter has been helping out whilst you've been otherwise engaged, but welcome back, good friend.
I got it. Yeah, thanks a lot to Adam for filling in last week. Needed to take care of some stuff that, not fun stuff, but you got to do what you got to do in life, right? But really, thanks to Adam for covering last week. We're happy to be here for the finale here at Road America. The Apex, this has been definitely one of my favorite series that we've covered all year long, and we've done quite a few, and just really looking forward to how this is going to wrap up tonight. Going to come down to Limke and Michael Brock there in the pros. It ought to be fun. I think Mavis has pretty much got the other one wrapped up, but as we were talking pre-race, there's the points with the kind of the 4 drop races they do. It's going to be really hard to tell. We're going to have to wait to get some word from the officials before this is over with.
Yes, definitely. I have already spoken to Kent Kruger, and that was post last week. Let's give you just a reminder of where we have been racing beforehand here at Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, because a lengthy schedule. Road Atlanta started things off back on December 16th, then Autodromo Nazionale Monza on December 23rd. We bookended 2025 with Watkins Glen, and then 2026 Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course brought GT4 Tuesdays back kicking and screaming and roaring into action. Spa-Francorchamps was the next round, week 5 out of 12. On January 13th, January 20th, we headed to Sebring. Then the streets of Long Beach 1 week later. Mosport started the month of February before we went to VIR, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, and last week, Mount Panorama. But Road America, just as fearsome a circuit in its own right. A lot of elevation changes, a lot of fast sweeping corners, especially coming out of turn 11 at the kink heading into Kettle Bottoms, Canada Corner. And then you've got also Bill Mitchell Bend at turn 13 before we've got a very similar start-finish straight like to Portimao in many respects, in the fact that you go uphill and then halfway down the start-finish stretch is where you cross the line. Qualifying is underway as we speak. We have got probably the best part of nearly 30 cars for this series finale. One of the good things about the Apex this GT4 Tuesdays league is that the consistency. We have had anywhere between 22 to 30 plus cars on a particular week on average. As DJ Alessandrini, well, he was with us for the first 2 out of the 3 rounds, and well, the man himself is back in action in the 333 BMW M4. He is already the fastest out there by 6.5 tenths of a second. Well, this man is an IRL IRL race car driver, plus also the fact he's a driver coach. So he knows a thing or two about pedaling around a circuit. He's just set a 2-minute 15.269. Thomas Lathrop in P2. Brian Lemke, P3. Tom O'Gorman, who is a new driver that we've not come across in the 494 McLaren 570S GT4. Anthony Barranco makes a return to the series. Joseph Mayer, Oz Escalou, Russell Abraham, John Cooper and Jesse Mia round out your overall top 10. Just a quick reminder to those that have not tuned in to us before here at Race and Nexus. Well, what's the colour coding on the timing tower? The light cyan blue numbers are for the going pros, the whites are for the mid-pack Larrys. So, even with 3 minutes to go, this is proving to be a tough one at the moment because I haven't seen a lap set by Michael Brock, second in the going pros at the moment. He's just about to cross the stripe for lap 2. Now, where is he going to factor in if that lap has been allowed? He's gone up to P3, and he is still in his trusty steed. Yep, and good evening to Michael's wife, Jen. Yeah, she's basically said, go Mike and Brian.
I think she means more go Mike, right?
Yeah, she means go Mike, as the Technicolor Mustang makes its reappearance once again. Slipstream is going to be quite crucial around here at Road America here, Chris, because, you know, this circuit has had quite a lot of history, opened back in September 1955, so over 70 years of racing action, and Michael just using a little bit of slipstreaming. He's trying to get through on a BMW going through into turn 5 just off the Moraine sweep. This is going to be a true test of intestinal fortitude. That's the long-winded version of saying a 4-letter word beginning with G and ending in S, guts. These drivers are really going to be under the pressure cooker situation tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. 2 long straightaways here at Road America, all the way down that front straightaway past the start-finish line into turn number 1. You're going to see who has the, as you said, guts to drive that car in deep, maybe outbreak. We should see a lot of pass in there into turn number 1 as we get rolling. Also up into turn number 5 as they come off that hard right-hander there at 3. Nice long straightaway there, just kind of a slight bend at turn 4. I'm not even sure why they call it a turn. But and then you get that hard left again there into turn number 5. But a lot of technicality through the later part of the track, but it's definitely going to who has the fortitude and the guts to hold the pedal down here. And you know, if I remember correctly, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen DJ, but wasn't he in a Porsche the first 2 weeks, or was he in the BMW? I don't remember. I'm kind of old. I forget things. So
he was in the Porsche Cayman 718 GT4 RS for week 1 and week 3, and he blitzed the field on both. So that says to me that he's just come back for a one-off appearance just to put the proverbial GT4 cat amongst the pigeons, and his being a BMW, of course. So it really does come to it. But however, on cue, Brian Lemke in the 41 Sky Lounge Motorsport BMW M4 has gone to the top of the timesheets, and he's broken under 2 minutes and 15 seconds, a 2:14.984. Meantime, Michael Brock has had a big off-track, so I think that might be the end of Michael's qualifying run, and he's pulled it back to the pits. Meantime, DJ Alessandrini, this could be a very, very quick lap indeed. He's going purple across, well, he's gone purple in sectors 1 and 2. He's also done it in 5. This could be a very, very good lap for the 333, as he will very shortly be making his way out of turn 14, using as much of the runoff as he dares, going up the hill towards the start-finish line. Can Brian Lemke's pole position time be stumbled on the last gasp saloon? No. Alessandrini, yes, he does. 2-minute 14.948 as Barney waves the checkered flag on the start-finish stretch. That has decided that there will be no point for pole position for neither Brian Lemke or Michael Brock.
And only 0.04 of a second there.
Yes, but it's still, nevertheless, a statement that has been made, which means me to say this to DJ Alessandrini. Right, when we come back for the next season of Apex This GT4 Tuesdays, come back for a full campaign. We want to see you battle with everybody else. Brian's in, who is, for the last couple of rounds, including this one and also Bathurst, moved away from his trusty A Falterbach Steed in the form of the Mercedes-AMG GT4 and has gone with the Might of Munich in the BMW M4. He's currently sitting 7th at the moment, so the top 7 at the minute are looking like this. Alessandrini, Lemke, Brock, Mayer, O'Gorman, Lathrop. Now, Zinn, how is he getting on at the moment? He's done personal bests in sectors 3, 4 and 5. So can he close on in? He's about, let's have a look, where is he at the moment? He's currently 0.8 of a second.
Coming off turn 14 right now.
Right, let's see if this other BMW gets up the hill. Of course, the man from Maximum Effort Motorsports, also part of the commentary and production team here on Racer Nexus. Let's see, can Brian Zinn push his way up from 7th position? Across the line he goes. Is that an improvement? He gets ahead of Thomas Lathrop as the checkered flag now waves. We've still got some people getting closer and closer. Well, Kevin Zhu has decided to abort his lap. So will Matt Schlosser, because he's had a big old off track as well. Tom O'Gorman, Jesse Mia. Jesse Mia's all the way down in 17th. He's 1.4 seconds off. Tom O'Gorman has crossed the line and stays in 5th position. As Rob Phelan sends the Lego Speed Champions Mustang straight on at turn 1 and rearranges the front end after qualifying. Well done, Rob.
Broke some Lego pieces on that one.
Yes, indeed. Especially that new active brick that they've got these days. But we have got, we have got 30 cars that were due to take part in this qualifying session. Paul Bailey, Dylan Foster, Keon Majuro and John Monsalve. No one has set a lap time, but Tom O'Gorman is still circulating. He's going through turn 5. So off of the Marine sweep as he heads up to 6 before the blind apex into 6. Then it's going to be through into the right-hand kink into 7. That will lead him into the hurry downs. And then coming up shortly will be the carousel. Let's ride on board with the 570S GT4, the number 494, running with the same kind of colours that DJ Alessandrini is at the minute. He's going to head underneath the, well, has he aborted his lap? Yes, he has. That has concluded the session for time qualifying. And your pole sitters for the Going Pros and the Mid-Pack Larrys are DJ Alessandrini and Matt Schlosser, who is also part of the special stage community that we do also give a little bit of a spotlight to here at Racer Nexus. So, one final time, the sun lowering as sunset beckons here at Road America for the season finale of Season 26 for Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. Big thank you to every one of you that has tuned in to every single broadcast we've hosted since the mid-part of December 2025. And for those wanting a little bit of a cheeky 5% discount, don't forget to head to our friends at the Apex Sim Racing shop. The referral link is down in the description below. Use the coupon code at checkout, Racer Nexus. That's all lowercase, all one word, no space in between Racer and Nexus, for 5% on all purchases made, whether it be t-shirts, merch, steering wheels, pedal sets, sim rigs, whatever they're selling, you can get a 5% discount off. And a big thank you for their support, as always. Also, we have to give a shout out to trackcams22.com, trackcams for gourmet, and they help us provide some wonderful shots, as it will be an all BMW M4 GT4 on the front row. And 3 of the top 4 cars in qualifying are BMW, but there is the lone Dearborn warrior that is the 421 Mustang of Michael Brock. We're waiting for the drivers to ready up. Just Keon Majura and John Cooper ready to join the grid ahead of this 45-minute encounter. There will be a mandatory stop due to fuel limitations on every one of the vehicles here. So John Cooper has readied up, just waiting on the 88 of Keon Majuro, who races in the ASRL Sports Car Championship, also broadcasted here on Racer Nexus. So looks like Keon Majuro is going to be starting from the pit lane. So very shortly we will go green to set the drivers off on their formation lap. Here's your starting grid. I think we might want to start a bit higher than row 8 there, Chris.
Yeah, it's not giving me a choice to change. It's not giving me anything to change that. So here.
Right. Well, I'll go with what I've got on the screen.
We'll just do it this way. There we go. How's that?
There we go. DJ Alessandrini starts from pole position ahead of series leader Brian Lemke for the Going Pros. Michael Brock and Joseph Mayer ran at row 2. Tom O'Gorman, Brian Zinn ran at row 3. Thomas Lothrop and mid-pack Larry's pole sitter Matt Schlosser ran at row 4. Dan Carrido and Russell Abraham ran at your top 10. Kevin Shue and Anthony Barranco ran out row 6. Row 7, Kyle Mavis and Joshua Soto. Vincent Wood and Oz Eskew ran at row 8. Jesse Meir, John Cooper, Justin Aitchison and Roman Bykov ran at your overall top 20. Tony Phillips, Kent Kruger, Rob Phelan and Uwe Hell ran out the top 12 rows. Then we've got Ryan Ryder, Harrison Mealy, John Monsalve, Keon Majuro, Dylan Foster and Paul Bailey. That is 30 cars of GT4 variety. Keon Majuro is in pit road, but DJ Alessandrini has decided I'm going to make a one-off appearance and see if I can put the cat amongst the pigeons. Well, you definitely have done. He's decided to go grass tracking on the formation lap for whatever reason. Why, DJ? Why is all I'm going to say.
He's trying to cool the tires down a little bit.
All I'm going to say is Spa 24 a couple of years ago. Did I say that out loud? Sorry.
I'm not sure.
Spargate. That's all I'm saying
gotcha.
about that one. Yeah. And they used the Camel Straight to cool the tyres on the right-hand side. But there'll be none of that tomfoolery here tonight. Let me guarantee you that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, none.
It is going to be the case of we will see who will win our respective classes and who will be declared our series champions. There is a 7-point bonus in each of the divisions for the person that has had the least incidents all season long. And it all comes down to this moment. The best 8 scores out of 12 go towards the drivers' respective tallies. Alessandrini and Lemke weaving from side to side to get some additional tyre temp in both their respective BMWs. DJ Alessandrini staying as close to the rear end as the Porsche 911 pace car, just up ahead. But this is where we get to crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. Lemke has to stay ahead of Brock. Mavis has to do a big number on Carrido, but Carrido is ahead of him, which could put the 64 Liquid Death Ford Mustang in a little bit of deep water, let's say. But it all depends on what might happen, and unpredictability has been the key word in the apex this GT4 Tuesday series, which back on December 16th started on its 12-week journey. And now we come through the kink, then head through into the kettle bottoms, and this is where we're going to see some very fast-paced action. Then through into turn 12 at Canada Corner, where you can throw it to the outside, but you've got to be very wary heading into Bill Mitchell Bend. And then turn 14, well, if you go wide there, that's an instant track cut. But here we go for the final time here in season 26. Apex this GT4 Tuesdays is ready to rock and roll for one final time. 45 minutes on the timer. It's Alessandrini and Lemke on the front row as they build pace. Underneath the NTT bridge we go onto the start-finish stretch. And then with a roar of GT4 power, we have gone green. Lemke trying to get the jump on Alessandrini. Brock stays in behind. Meantime, Dan Carrido has got through on Dan Schlosser on the early stages as the green flag is in the air. We head down to turn 1. Can Lemke go for the move? There's a little bit of pushing and shoving. Alessandrini holds on to the lead. Michael Brock is going to have possibly the advantage, but he loses a little bit of momentum going through into turn 1. Down into turn 3 for the first time. And Tom O'Gorman trying to put the frighteners on Michael Brock. Now, the thing is, you would say that more to the point that Tom O'Gorman might be playing wingman to DJ Alessandrini, but this could really put a hurt on the title fight. Meantime, Lemke looking to stick out his nose towards Alessandrini into turn 5, off of the Moraine sweep. And at this particular juncture, well, Brock holds on in front of O'Gorman. Kyle Mavis has just been the first one to be caught with a slowdown penalty for track limits, well, exceeding track limits. John Cooper is trying to fight his way between the likes of Justin Aitchison, who for the last couple of rounds has been running in the wonderfully Golf liveried Ford Mustang. So he has moved away from the traditional car that he's had for the last few weeks. But things are looking very, very good indeed. However, Dylan Foster has gone off track at the back end of the field in the 818. Dylan joined us, I think it was just before, well, he joined us at Mosport. So he has always been trying to get through. There's been a few dramas. Oh, right, Uwe Hale and John Monsalvo have gone off the track. Oh dear. And Uwe Hale has just hit the barriers. So the 929 Mustang in strife. Matt Schlosser has dropped all the way down to 17th position as things are getting a bit frantic as we go through into the kink for the first time here. Well, the first time here on lap 1 of the race. Lap times we saw in qualifying were around about a 2-minute 15 as we run aboard with the man leading the way in the going pros. Kent Kruger has gone straight off, and that is at the kink. That could be a very heavily rearranged front end on the Porsche
Looks like there's a problem with Corrido as well here.
Oh, Corrido, and that is off of the final corner.
Cooper in front of him right there.
Oh, did you see that? He smacked straight into the barrier, and John Cooper has got no rear wing. Front end's an absolute mess. That is going to have to go into pit lane. So Dan Corrido has really been thrown, well, he got thrown a curveball. Now, the big question is, did he assist himself or was he pushed? That's the big question. Kent Kruger now dives into pit road. And that's... Oh, I think he got an... Oh, yes. Let's just have a look. He's going to turn in.
Kyle?
That is going to be with Kyle Mavis. Now, I have to say, Kyle had the inside line there. Dan was alongside him, but I think the onus might be on Dan on that one, to be completely fair, because he could have turned in and then opened up the steering, but it might have been too little, too late. However, we head back to the front end of the field. Kyle Mavis now leads the mid-pack Larrys. So, with Dan Corrido down in 26th, Ryan Ryder, who is also in the top 3 in the mid-pack Larrys, runs fourth in, well, runs, let's have a look, runs 5th in the class. 3 places behind that man, Justin Aitchison, in the number 175 Golf liveried Mustang. Kind of reminds me of the mid-1960s when the GT40 was brought in by Ford Motor Company to beat the Italians at their own game at Le Mans.
We take a look here at Schlosser. He's looking out of the inside of Escalade. He's going to make that look really easy. Going to move himself up into the 16th spot. He fell back just a little bit. He's down 8 spots, actually, trying to crawl back after an earlier mistake. But, you know, really, let's really get watching up here at the front and look at, you know, when DJ has been here the first couple of races of the season or early on in the season, he pretty much dominated. But look at Lemke and Brock right there behind him, not really giving DJ much breathing room at this point.
Well, I think one of the big things is that Lemke and Brock have really, like every single week, they've brought their A game and they've improved every single time. And when you think about it, folks, okay, get this for an iRating stat. DJ Alessandrini, iRating of 7641. Lemke, 3038. Brock, 4403. So DJ Alessandrini has got double the iRating of the man behind him. And that just goes to show that the iRating only tells part of the story. I don't worry about iRating. I worry about what we are seeing on our screens right now. And that's the key importance here. This iRating does not always tell the whole story. As we ride aboard with the man from Ireland, Tom O'Gorman, in the 494, as Michael Brock has got through on Brian Lemke. Now, and Michael Brock has just gone straight off the track. I don't believe it. He's gone straight off at 5, off of the Moraine sweep. He was carrying so much momentum. It went straight on, and that's the thing. You can't afford to do that. Now, he saw that there was an opportunity here, threw into the Moraine sweep. He goes to try and defend off of O'Gorman, realises, oh crap.
Just a little too deep into the corner there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Code Brown, clean up an aisle 3, get the mop out behind you and sweep the room whilst you're at it. Kind of situation.
I'm laughing. I'm looking at Jen's comment in the YouTube chat calling Michael a ding dong.
Well, I think there's words bluer than that, Jen. Come on, let's be completely honest. But more to the point that with that, it was a case of he had to defend against O'Gorman, and then realised he'd missed his braking point, carried a bit too much speed, and then went, oh dear. Well, words to that effect as Matt Schlosser goes a little bit off track, so Jesse Mia gets through on him. Here comes Tony Phillips in the 731. He's battling away with Mr. Lego Speed Champions, Rob Phelan, in the number 90 car, who goes off. Rob, don't start breaking off Lego pieces.
He
on
gave
that
him a little,
splitter,
maybe a little too much room there.
I think more than room. I think he opened up both barn doors at the Kent Farm in Smallville and allowed him. Yeah, go and see the horses. Go on. You're more than welcome to. Right, I'm in my humorous mode now that we're at the season finale, but there's not going to be too much banality from me. That's all I can assure you, folks. But still, we've got some great battles up and down the order. Matt Schlosser making a recovery, returning the favour to Jesse Mia through at T1. Forces the Porsche a little bit wide, so elbows out with the Interstellar SRV Aston Martin, the number 400. But the thing is that now that Michael Brock, after that big moment, has caused himself nothing but drama, Joseph Mayer has run a bit deep into 5, so Thomas Lathrop in the body in white Mustang has managed to get through for P4 overall. Kyle Mavis still leads the mid-pack. There he's down in P10 and is 1.3 seconds ahead of Anthony Barranco. So it's a Ford 1-2 in the mid-pack Larrys, and with Matt Schlosser making it Aston Martin in the final podium position. This could be the moment where Kyle Mavis will assert his claim to the mid-pack Larry's title, but as I said, it is going to be the case of we will find out who, and not if, but it will be later on when we do find out. And it just goes to show that Jen's even getting involved in the Discord. And the funny thing is that yeah, he's just basically said, Dan Carino said, I'm going to try to run off my phone's hotspot. We shall see how that works out. Just mucks around with some iRacing Core.ini settings to try and help with connection. Then he got a thumbs up, and then Thomas Lathrop says bandwidth isn't the issue as much as it is the latency. You're multitasking, Jen. Well, okay.
YouTube,
Fair
Discord. Wait, you get her to run some cameras over if she really wants to multitask a little bit.
I know. Well, the thing is that Dan Carrido actually had that Verizon had. Yeah, so basically that with his Verizon internet connection, things weren't going too well, let's say, and he was waiting for a repair tech to come out, but he's got it working. Matt Schlosser, in the meantime, has just got the black flag of doom, I'm afraid, and that means trip into pit lane. He's keeping out of the way. I think, well, that's what you call keeping out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool the tyres down, why don't you, buddy?
Let's see what happened here to Matt. He'd been moving up the field. And
now I'm wondering if there's been a little bit of a touch. Right, Jesse Mia dives to the inside, and what does Matt do here? Oh, that was
a dive bomb.
But it wasn't a dive bomb. That was
yeah, it worked out good though.
Didn't look like it. And that's probably what pushed him over the edge, because I think there was a little bit of a touch between the pair. He avoids the wall on the left-hand side heading through 2 and into 3. So, yeah, I think probably that little 2x might have just thrown him over the limit. And that is going to be an incident here. That's going to be a trip in the pit lane. Right. Okay, so Jesse Mia. Oh, Roman Bykov has also fallen off the track. So Jesse might have served a slowdown there, it looks like.
That's more than a slowdown. He's just coming to a stop. Not sure what that's about, but he just looked like he jumped to the pits.
Unless he's had an issue. That's what I'm thinking of, really.
Or the wife called him for dinner, one of the two.
Yeah. I think there's going to be...
We got Bykov off the track again as well, and Monseld as well. So, but watching Brock's not really making up any ground after his mistake. He's still back there in 8th right now, not really gaining much on the group in front of him either.
Yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. And funnily enough, there's been an interesting thing in Discord about GT4 reference car selection vote for season 25, and they said, should GT4 drivers lock into one car for the entire season or stay free to switch? And the 8 say free to change up cars all season in the current format, and 12 have said B, locked into one car for the season. Oddly, and you know what, oddly enough, whilst that's been up there, I've hit B. I want to see drivers in one car all season. I think that's how it should be. Because I think there are some drivers that will probably, I've seen it in other leagues where you actually get penalised for changing your cars, unless there's an iRacing update. That should be the only reason why. Oh, John Monsalve has just had a spinneroonie at turn 3. And the 5-0, well, that's as yellow as a car can get, so that's another yellow submarine we've got on the grid. Notwithstanding the man we've got here, the race scout Mercedes from Ozescu. Meantime, Tom O'Gorman has managed to get through on Brian Lemke.
Take a look at that pass here real quick.
Yeah, so this is going to be a... Now, was it... We're going to see here, this is going to be very, very close, but the McLaren has the aerodynamic edge on the BMW. So let's just see that. Oh, that's a pull to the left-hand side if ever you saw one. And it's... Oh, that's a great move there by Tom O'Gorman, the man from Ireland. Neat and tidy. Brian Lemke knows that he doesn't need to fight it because he is. And Jen, don't say shame. If these guys were driving IRL and they were in one car, they'd be in that car for the season unless they change teams. Am I right, Chris?
100% right. You can't just go out and pick up your BMW and then go get the Mercedes next week and then the Porsche the following week. It doesn't really work that way. Plus, yeah. in real life, you've got commitments to those cars. You can't just do a different one. But I see the attraction to both of it, to both ways. It's kind of nice that you can test out a different car, and if you can find a car that's a little quicker, you can jump to it. But I see both sides of it. If I was voting on it, I would probably vote the same as you, my friend, and just say one car, just because it feels a little more like real life, and I like real life. So.
Okay. Well, Jen, if you're going to say something like shame and just type in capital letters, I'm shaming Mike for not catching up. Well, he's currently P8 at the moment, 8.25 seconds off of the race lead, as DJ Alessandrini has bolted now, finally, as we are nearly 15 minutes of the way through this 45-minute finale for season 26 of Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. Of course, there will be a season 27, which I'm sure that we here at Racer Nexus will be back involved with. But again, our colleague, normally on the commentary and production side of things with other leagues, Brian Zinn, running P6. And he's got the man from St. Kitts and Nevis behind him, so Kevin Zhu in the 243 Aston Martin. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting when we're going to see when the pit stop phases are going to start coming in, because it's quite a heavy fuel circuit here at Road America. They're using a lot of speed, which obviously doesn't like sip the gas from the gas tank. It siphons it like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, we take a look here, Brian. So I've been doing some shows on Friday nights on my own thing that I've been working with a guy, and he's actually been in the booth with me in the race. So Brian's Brian's working here with the Racers Nexus. Maybe we could do that with him, get him while he's in the race car during the race, do some broadcasting with us. We've had a lot of.
To be honest with you, if someone asked me to do that, I would say no, and then hell no.
We've been having we've been having a lot of fun with it in the super speedway races, but it would be a little bit different here on a race like this.
Oh, Brian! God, you got a bit too close for comfort there, trying to get through on Tom O'Gorman. He went to the outside, at that particular juncture, and that would have been a bit too much of a crossover. But what that is doing is allowing Thomas Lathrop in that body in white Mustang. I mean, that's as bare as an iRacing livery that you can get. Well, apart from the North American Sports Car Championship that myself and Rob did, we did a replay broadcast of their second and third round at Miami International Autodrome and Long Beach GP Street Circuit, which were actually quite entertaining. And also had one name in there that you'll recognise from our work on the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. Walker Carroll from Fury Simsport. He was running in the LMP3s.
Oh, nice. Oh,
So,
Esco misses the braking point right
Escalade.
there. Kind of has to get on the brake there to keep him running in the back of Ryan. He just gets off right there. He's going to give up a spot, it looks like, to Tony Phillips. You know, but as we were watching Brian Linkey up there trying to get around Tom O'Gorman, the one thing I got to give Brian credit for is that, you know, this is the season finale. He's leading the points. Brock's not that far behind him. You know, and Lemke knows where Brian is, or excuse me, he knows where Brock is on the racetrack. He could just settle in right here, but he's actually trying to race for that spot. He's trying to get up to the front, see if he can catch DJ Alessandrini. But, you know, if you're racing for the championship, you might just settle in that third spot and not kind of do anything crazy, not take any chances. But he's pushing. Here he goes again.
Yeah, I think the more real estate he can put between himself and Michael Brock basically assures him of the going pros. But then you have to factor in some of our drivers in the mid-pack Larrys. John Monsalva's got a black flag. And he has been off. Oh, he's off track, is John. So the 505 Yellow Submarine Porsche 718 Cayman has gone off the track. And he has dived into pit lane. Looks like Matt Schlosser is repairing a lot of damage to the number 400 Aston Martin. That car has been on its pit stall marks for just over 6 minutes. Brian Zinn is battling away as Kyle Mavis has got through. Joshua Soto has dived into the pits at the 18.5-minute mark. That might be a little bit too early in many people's estimation, but if Joshua has kept that car short-fueled, that might help him in the longer game, because you don't necessarily need to be at the full capacity of the fuel that has been limited per racetrack. And from that aspect, it might give him a bit more of a possible advantage, but it's dropping him down the order. He's outside of the top 20 as the 07, and Joshua has stuck with one car for every single appearance that he has made, which is the Porsche Cayman. Just under 19 seconds was his pit stall time. So now this is going to give him the opportunity. Roman is number one, says Taryn Pittman in YouTube chat. So let's see how things. So we have already had a couple of fallers by the wayside. Kent Kruger is out of the race, so I'm sure that Kent, who's one of the admins behind the scene, he is keeping a keen eye on what is happening. Maybe so at least the points might be updated very, very quickly once this race has been completed, because not only have they got to factor in 4-drop scores, plus also who has had the least incidents all season long, and that person at the end of the 12 weeks will get an additional 7 points of bonuses added to their tally. Oz Escalou closing in on Tony Phillips for what is 16th position, as Tom O'Gorman and Brian Lemke are still battling. Battling quite hard at the moment for this second position overall, which means that DJ Alessandrini, as we pass the 20-minute mark, has a nearly 4-second advantage, as that is a brave move by Vincent Wood round the outside of Justin Aitchison through at the kink. He was very, very brave in the McLaren. Kevin Zhu has just decided to pit from 8th on the road. So Justin Aitchison continuing in the Gulf-coloured Mustang, and he is at this moment in time 4th in the mid-pack Larrys. Meantime, Brian Lemke still fighting tooth and nail with Tom O'Gorman, with Thomas Lathrop just behind them. And this is where we find that the drivers do, that they're really putting their heart and soul into this. And that's one of the good things about this league. As I said earlier on, that, Chris, that the consistency that we've had in good quality of fields in terms of the quality of the driving standards but also with regards to the consistency of how many drivers we've actually got on the grid.
Yeah, I've had a good field of cars all year long. I think the lowest we had maybe was what, about 22 or 23. But the quality of racing here at the Apex is just top notch. We've got some really great drivers you can watch. You know, they got a lot of respect for each other. They give each other space. We really haven't seen a lot of, we cover some other leagues where you'll see a lot of I don't know if I call it just mistakes or driving over your head and just running over people. You just don't see that here with Apex. It's just been a really fun league to cover all season long.
Yes, indeed. We are just coming up to half time, and when we do hit half time at 22.5 minutes, we'll give you a top 5 rundown of the going pros and the mid-pack Larrys. Brian Lemke has got the run here on Tom O'Gorman as they came out of turn 11 at the kink on the way to Kettle Bottoms. Now to Canada corner. Lemke tries to stick his nose to the inside. O'Gorman quick to retaliate and keep the position. Well, they're going to go up through Canada. They've gone through Canada corner, now into Bill Mitchell Bend. And then it's going to be turn number 14. That McLaren, when it gets through the corners, is so much more capable than the BMW. But out of turn number 14, as we now hit halfway,
There's Gorman hitting.
O'Gorman goes into pit lane. And so, with that, let's take you through the top 5 of our respective divisions. In the going pros, it's DJ Alessandrini leading by 5 seconds from the number 41 from Skylounge Motorsport, Brian Lemke. P3, it's Thomas Lathrop just behind him in the number 13 Mustang. Brian Zinn now moves up to 4th place in the 82 BMW, and he's got, well, it could be Michael Brock, who's going to dive to the inside of Joe Mayer into turn 3. And let's just keep an eye on this until we go to turn 5. Down the Moraine Sweep, Michael Brock to the outside of Joseph Mayer. And Brock is just ahead by a nose length at the minute. Can the Mustang get the run towards the outside? Yes. So Michael Brock now goes up to P5. In terms of the mid-pack Larrys, down in 8th position overall, it's the number 92 of Anthony Branco in the Ford Mustang. 2nd place, it's Vincent Wood in the number 93 McLaren. Ryan Ryder in the 181 Ford Mustang rounds out your top 3. With Tony Phillips in the 731 BMW, and the Lego Speed Champions number 90 Mustang of Rob Phelan rounds out your mid-pack Larry's top 5 as we are just under 21 minutes to go here out of 45. And still the battles are going to wind up. Michael Brock trying to close in on Brian Zinn. Joe Mayer just behind, about 4/10 adrift of the 421 Technicolor Mustang of Brock, who needs to really get his skates on a little bit here. But can he run deep into the session and try for the overcut on Brian Lemke? Because if that is a move that he can carry out, then obviously Lemke will be a little bit fearful about what the Mustang driver might be able to do. So, retirements thus far. Keon Majuro didn't take the start. Kent Kruger out on the very first lap. John Cooper out on lap 1. Jesse Meyer out on lap 4. Matt Schlosser out on lap 5. Which means we are down to what will be 25 out of the 30 drivers that started this race as Michael Brock. Okay, so they're all diving into pit lane. That's the top 6, including Joe Mayer. So it is going to be the run in the pit lane. Abraham Barranco now join the party. So does Vincent Wood. Ryan Ryder. Okay, see a trend here happening, folks. Tony Phillips and Rob Phelan will now dive into pit lane, I'm sure. Or has Rob Phelan decided he's going to keep left? No, he dives to the right-hand side and stays and goes back in. Tom O'Gorman, who pitted just 1 lap ago, is about to make his way through out of the final corner. He's just behind Kevin Zhu. DJ Alessandrini, what has happened with your pit stop? 22.5 seconds. Lemke was slightly quicker. Michael Brock, 19.72. So, Zinn, Brock, they've spent less than 20 seconds, which means they're going to have a little bit less fuel. And Perfect Jen, again, it's all about the cause livery I frequently accuse him of DUI. For those UK or European viewers don't know what DUI means, it's driving under the influence.
You know, I was watching Tom O'Gorman right there. You know, he pitted early. I thought he might undercut that group and make up some ground and get away from Limke, maybe make up some ground on Alessandrini, but unfortunately had about a 107 pit stop compared to everybody else at the one flats and 104. So didn't pay off for him. And not to help, he also came out kind of behind Kevin Zhu, which I think was holding up his pace as well. So O'Gorman was running right there second when his pit stop started. He's all the way back to seventh.
Well, there we go. It just goes to show. Okay, we just had an apology in the Discord for... Sorry, Matt Schlosser saying to Jesse Mir, sorry for the brake check, and I apologise to everyone for driving like that in your league. Completely lost my composure, and I'm sorry. I have to say, Matt Schlosser, kudos to you for admitting your mistake. That's one of the things that we would rather prefer, that someone is upfront and transparent. If they've made a mistake and they explain it why, that person has respect in my books.
Yeah, Matt made kind of a late dive right there, and when he pulled up in front of Jesse right there, I just kind of thought maybe Jesse had a little bit of a run on him. Did not really see that Matt had done a brake check on him, but I had somebody jump in there and kind of call himself out for it. So I see Jesse's been typing for a few minutes on his response, so we'll see what he has to say. But we look at Joshua Soto right here, so Joshua's making us a good time here. He's up to 9th.
Oh, Tony Phillips has had a drama in the 731 BMW. As we're heading into the final 17 minutes of the race. Let's have a look here. So he's got Justin Aitchison in the 175 Mustang behind him. Oh, that's a big old spin for Vincent Wood, and he's come pinballing across the track. Tony Phillips narrowly avoids, so Vincent Wood has ended up diving into pit lane for what seemed to be a fast repair. Oh, and there we saw it. It's coming out of the kink. There we go. That's why Tony Phillips went off the track. So that just goes to show, you carry too much speed through the kink, that is on your head that it happens. That if you carry too much speed, miss your slight dab of brakes when you're paddling behind the wheel of the car, you've got to be very, very measured in your approach into the kink coming out of turn 10 from the carousel. So we continue onwards. And Michael Brock is really making sure that he can try and get as high up the order as he can. Paul Bailey in the 569 has ended up in the pits. This is going to be at turn 5. Car rotates around on its own. So no one to blame but himself on that one.
I don't know if it did it on its own. I think it may have had something to do with his right foot.
Well, I think it's... Well, sometimes with turn 5, you can really mess it up on like aggressive turning, and that can also spin the back end around. I mean, one wrong move, you know, you try the old Scandinavian flick a la Stig Blomqvist, well, the back end's going to go round quicker than the front on a corner.
Yeah, sure, just get in there a little too deep and just lose the back of the car. But Michael Brock had fallen down to 8th after his mistake earlier. He's back up to 5th. He's coming back to the front, but I don't know if he's got near enough time to even get near Brian Lemke at this point.
And also, it's going to be very, very close with regards to the situation in the mid-pack Larrys. Kyle Mavis, who's 9th overall, is still leading the division. Now, Dan Corrido has made his way. And Jesse Mia has just responded to Matt Schlosser. And he said, no reason to apologise. I set us both up for failure with that late move into T1. Our general rule is don't hit what you can see, so that's on me. Just wasn't my night. Credit to both gentlemen for being very, very upfront and transparent, and that's what I love about this league, that people are willing to call themselves out on mistakes that they've made. But you can see that Brian's in looking rather racy behind Thomas Lathrop, and Lathrop did pit for about a second and a bit longer, so he's got more fuel. Look at this, Michael Brock looking to the outside of Brian's in. That's brave at turn 3. Is the Mustang going to make it through? Because this will give him the inside line down the Moraine sweep.
I think he's got it done.
Right behind them, he's got it done. Yes, Michael Brock just ahead by a nose hair. And look, this is going to open the door for Brian's in, heading down the Moraine sweep into turn 5. So Brian's in will be edged out here ever so slightly, but he goes late on the brakes on Michael Brock, who keeps to the inside line. Michael Brock does make it through. Watch the run from Brian Zinn now in towards turn number 6. And, well, Brian Zinn opens the door, and that is it. Kevin Zhu is through in the number 82, sorry, the number 243, Aston Martin. Meantime, Brian Lemke is running solo in second position. And the way things stand provisionally, I would say that Brian Lemke is going to secure the Going Pros title. But of course, we still have to wait for the official word from the admins of the Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. Of course, we do also have the MX5 League that the drivers do take part in. So Apex this always gets some great coverage here on Racer Nexus, and a big thank you to the admins for allowing myself, Chris, and also Adam Gladfelter I keep on calling him Brad for some reason, because I've got a friend called Brad Dalton who sounds exactly like Adam in some respects. So I make the mistake, and I've done it again. Sorry, Adam, my bad. But what did you miss, Mike Pitt? Wait, did I miss Mike Pitting? Yes, you did. And the pit stop was not his nemesis, Jen.
He made it out.
He did a perfect. He made it out. Made it on his pit stall. He was quicker.
No black flags. Didn't hit anything.
He was actually, out of the top 9, he was the quickest to put fuel in his car. So Michael is short fueled, I think, a couple of litres, but has given himself enough of a window to get that car across the line. Now, can he get that car up into P3 overall? Oh my God, worst wife. I think probably because you missed him pitting, nothing happened, but there's been dramas again for John Monsalvo, I'm afraid, at turn 3. That seems to be John's nemesis, I'm afraid.
You know, the other thing...
So it looks like it's an over-rotation there.
But the other thing I was looking at, Tom O'Gorman's fallen off the pace. I was going to go back and take a look to see what happened here with Tom. But let me see where
that's Joe Mayer and Josh Soto.
Where'd he go here? So I think he just pulled off and quit.
Oh, okay. So that's very, very interesting with regards to Tom O'Gorman.
You know, I think he's not here for the points. He was here to, just try to get a win, and it didn't work out for him. So I think he might have loaded his stuff up and went home.
Yeah, well, yeah, packed up the trailer and belts and braces, put the car in the top, and off he goes.
Back when I was in school, it'd be like, I'm just going to take my ball and go home. So I don't know. Maybe he just took his helmet.
I don't want to. Yeah. It's sort of like you don't want anyone else playing with your ball in the playground, so you decide to up sticks and go home. Meantime, Michael Brock is closing in to Thomas Lathrop, so the battle of the Mustangs for P3 overall is waging on as we've got just under 10 3/4 minutes left to go. It's going to be a sprint race to the end as sunset is deepening here at America's National Park of Speed for week 12 out of 12 for season 26 of Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, with Alex Goldschmidt and Chris Murphy up here in the Racer Nexus broadcast booth as through Bill Mitchell Bend bumps Thomas Lathrop over the curbing. And this is a nice comment from Jesse Meir to Matt Schlosser. Keep racing with us. It's a great bunch of people and some fantastic racing. ... usually with a laugh out loud.
Big tilted smiley face with the tears coming out of it there. Oh, Brock gonna look to the inside. Not gonna have the run. I thought he was gonna take a look to the inside of Lathrop right there. Brock's making a good recovery. We've seen him do this a couple times throughout the season, have some kind of a mistake, either getting out of the pits or driving off track or whatever it might be. But he's coming back through the pack ride, trying to get himself back into a podium spot.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been a great battle all the way through the season between our two title protagonists, Brian Lemke and Michael Brock. Now, the thing is, they both got 4 wins apiece. DJ Alessandrini, you would say, with 9.5 minutes to go, with a 6.1 second advantage, is away and clear. And that'll be a total of 20 points plus 1 for pole position for the 333 BMW M4. And he's just running his own race and having a really, really solid run. Of course, the rounds 1 and rounds 3 out of the 12-week schedule saw this man in the Porsche 718 Cayman do a number on everybody else. He's actually quite a, as I said, the iRacing, I don't always have that up on my live timing, and the reason being is that it's not about the iRating. It's about how competitive the drivers can be. And when you see that Michael Brock, for the majority of the season, has stuck with the 421 Mustang, he has had a couple of car changes. We have seen one where Brian Lemke decided to go into the Porsche, and it seemed to be a bit more of a nemesis rather than an assist. As we see now, Kevin Zhu closing in on Michael Brock. He is right in his wheel tracks as they're going through one of the fastest parts of the circuit. They're going to head into Canada corner. Michael Brock to the inside of Thomas Lathrop. He dives to the inside. That's a great move from the 421. And that was through at one of the most difficult places to pass at the circuit. And Brock has gotten through as they get through Canada corner. Kevin Zhu has also got through a Bill Mitchell bend. Here goes Brian Zinn, and Thomas Lathrop has kept out of the way big time.
From second
Great
to fifth,
spatial awareness.
or third to sixth there in just a matter of a couple of corners.
Yeah, and I don't think he's probably the best happy about that, because Michael Brock opened the door as they went through into, I think it was the kink, wasn't it, that he made that move, or was it Canada corner? No, it was Canada corner. He made the move there. Then,
Back, take a look at that.
Yeah, we might want to. Let's take a look at this. So they're coming down, and it's through the kettle bottoms. You can see that Kevin Zhu has got the run on Michael Brock, but Brock is being he's being such a tactician in this one, and he knew that he'd have the run on. So look, he dives out early, and that was crucial here for Michael Brock. Lathrop tried to turn on in, saw Brock was there, opened up the steering. Brock gets through up to P3. And then you can see a little bit of a wobble there from Thomas Lathrop. And that allows through into Bill Mitchell bend. To the outside goes Kevin Zhu. Makes the move before they hit the apex. They're wheel to wheel for the briefest of moments. And then Kevin Zhu makes it through before. That was why Thomas Lathrop had a massive wobble through at turn number 13 at Bill Mitchell bend. And he's gone off now. Oh, dear.
Let's see what
Let's
happened.
Just see. Now, this is coming out of turn 6, I would believe. So Brian Zinn is going to look to the inside line. And he goes in. Oh, that's a bit late. And there's contact between the pair. And Thomas gets turned around inadvertently. That was unstoppable force versus immovable object, I'm afraid, there, folks. And Thomas lights up the rear tyres, rejoins after Joe Mayer gets past him. So this just goes to show how quickly things can change. But that now means that Michael Brock has a 1.3 second advantage over Kevin Zhu. In the meantime, Kyle Mavis still runs P8 overall. Here comes Roman Bykov getting through on Anthony Baranko. And that is for 10th overall. And that's through in towards Canada corner and then Bill Mitchell bend. So Roman Bykov has made the move stick and gets through for 10th position at Canada corner. So a good bit of work there by the 013.
A little off with Lemke right here. Just kind of misses the corner. Let's see what happens.
Oh, that's
here.
opened up. Yeah, that opens up the gap to DJ Alessandrini to the best part of nearly 9 seconds, and that's out of the final corner. Oh, Brian, don't take the choker lap, buddy. Don't take the choker lap. You're fine. You're good. You're golden.
But that actually,
meantime,
yeah, Michael's only about 2.9 seconds. He can see Lemke in front of him now.
Now this is very, very interesting with just under 5 minutes to go. So Michael Brock has a target in his crosshairs who's 3 seconds up the road. That is the 41 Sky Lounge Motorsport BMW M4 of Brian Lemke. So Lemke losing a lot of time after that drama for the number 41 BMW. So Michael Brock had his own drama. Brian Lemke also having his own drama coming out of the 14th and final corner. So this just goes to show once again that it has not been easy over the last 12 weeks for these drivers, but they'll be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. There will be a little break between this and season 27. Best profile picture of the season, Uwe Hale with the thumbs up, shades on, and the good old chin goatee for good measure.
Who's the one that has a little
So,
dog? I can't remember who that is.
that was
Might not
I
even
can't
be.
remember the name,
Might not even be in
but it was
Apex.
it was uh, it was definitely it was definitely one of the best ones where you got someone just being an absolute cool dude in their picture, and then someone deciding to put their dog, who's their resident mascot. But then, you know what? It's great to have some characters in this field. But now, with 3.5 minutes to go, DJ Alessandrini. Oh, it was Kent Kruger. Thank you very much, Jen, for reminding us. So DJ Alessandrini now brings us on to our penultimate lap, not just of the 12th, not just of this race at Road America, but it's the penultimate race lap of the series here in season 26. Apex this GT4 Tuesdays live here on Racer Nexus. DJ Alessandrini is now 9 seconds up the road. Harrison Mealy is closing in on Uwe Hale. These two are having a bit of a ding-dong battle here. So keep your eyes out for some argy-bargy from time to time. But down to the wire we go. Kyle Mavis is currently sitting P8 overall. And looking at it from this perspective, he's first in the mid-pack Larrys, ahead of Baranco and Aitchison, who ran out, and it's a top 3 lockout for Dearborn, Michigan, in the mid-pack Larrys. All three of the top 3s are Mustangs. Then you got top 4 are Mustangs with Ryan Ryder, Oz as then Tony Phillips. And no, I'm not making reference to a treat that I know is known of in the USA. It's an English colloquial phrase, like if there's a bit of a ding-dong battle where they're knocking 7 shades of Shinola out of each other. That's what we mean.
Yeah, that really
So like
helped
if
the
they're knocking
Shanks.
if they're knocking 7 bells, yeah, knocking 7 bells out of each other, then that's what we call it, a ding-dong battle. So hence ding-dong is the noise that a bell makes. End of story. Right. Laugh out loud, says Paterino Scold on YouTube chat. Well, we are here to entertain you folks, not just talk about the racing. But the thing is, the next time that he crosses the start-finish line, it will be the white flag in the air for the end of season 26. And here we go, just over 4 miles left of racing competition here in season 26. Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, the 333 BMW M4 GT4 of DJ Alessandrini will take the white flag, and he's going to head his way down into turn number 1. Now, Dan Corrido, I have noticed, has made his way up the order. Well, has dropped down the order, unfortunately. Had that big drama earlier on in the race. He's managed to recover to 6th in class, and that is 16th overall. Hardest charger of the night so far, Ryan Ryder, started all the way down in 25th position, and now has made his way up into 13th place and is closing in on Justin Aitchison. Can he, on the last 4 miles of this series, get through and take position number 13? That's going to be quite crucial, because that will be the final step on the mid-pack Larry's rostrum for the final time. Meanwhile, Michael Brock making his way through. The gap between him and Brian Lemke has come down, not as much as people might have hoped or would have hoped for. It has gone down to about 2.4 seconds as the timer counts down. 3, 2, 1. Timer hits 0 for the final time for week 12 of Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, and DJ Alessandrini makes his way out of what will be the carousel for the final time here on lap 20. Through he goes in towards the kink at high speed at over 100 miles an hour in around about 4th or 5th gear. Will accelerate quite significantly through in towards Kettle Bottoms and now into turn 12 at Canada Corner. 2 more corners for the 333 BMW to negotiate as he makes his way through Canada Corner. Now up the hill through Bill Mitchell Bend for one final time. He might have made an impact at the beginning of the series, winning weeks 1 and 3, but he's come back here at the season finale and shown again why he's been tonight's class of the field. Out of the final corner, it will be 3 appearances, 3 wins. DJ Alessandrini underneath the NTT bridge will take the checkered flag and win the final week of the series here in week 12 at Road America. Brian Lemke powers up the hill for the final time, and I think he might be confirmed potentially as your Going Pros Season 26 champion, finishing ahead of title rival Michael Brock, who has just been flashing the lights saying, more than likely, congratulations, well done, buddy. Brian Zinn finishes behind Kevin Zhu. Joseph Mayer finishes P6. Thomas Lathrop will come across the line in 7th. And I think Kyle Mavis might have just done enough to take the Mid-Pack Larry's title. We are awaiting for confirmation from the admins to tell us what has happened. But I think with Dan Corrido finishing in 6th position in the Mid-Pack Larry's, down in 16th position, that might be game over for the Mid-Pack Larry's title. But I'm hoping I can feel my ears burning a little bit here, Chris, because I think it might be the case that a certain Mr. Kent Kruger might be hard at work trying to get the points for us.
Yeah, the drop weeks make it a little bit challenging, but I'd have to assume with the run that Lemke had all his season long, 4 wins, I mean, probably 4 or 5 second place finishes. I'd be really shocked if Michael Brock did enough to get past him here, and same thing with Kyle Mavis. But we'll have to see how this shakes out. It is a little bit different point system than I'm kind of used to, so we're gonna have to. You're right. We're gonna have to wait for a final decision from Kent, and hopefully he's crunching some numbers for us.
Yeah, so 1/3 of the field did not make it to the full 20-lap distance, but DJ Alessandrini wins the final week in week 12 here at Road America, America's National Park of Speed at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, just off of Highway 67 by nearly 11 seconds ahead of Brian Lemke. Michael Brock rounds out your overall top 3 ahead of Kevin Zhu, Brian Zinn, Joseph Mayer, Thomas Lathrop, Russell Abraham, Roman Bykov, and Oz Eskelou round out the top 10 in the Going Pros. Kyle Mavis takes another win in the Mid-Pack Larry's, finishing ahead of Justin Aitchison and Ryan Ryder, who round out an all-Mustang top 3 in the final week of the series, with Tony Phillips, Dan Corrido finishing in 5th ahead of Rob Phelan. Uwe Hale, Harrison Mealy, Dylan Foster and John Monsalve being the last of the drivers that crossed the line, but was 3 laps down off of everybody else. Joshua Soto retired on lap 13, Tom O'Gorman lap 12, Paul Bailey lap 12, Vincent Wood lap 11, Matt Schlosser lap 5, with Jesse Mia just 1 lap previous. John Cooper and Kent Kruger were out of the race very early, and Keon Majuro in the 88 Mustang unfortunately did not make it to the start, having not put a lap down in qualifying. Whilst we wait for the official clarification from our admins at Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, well, we've got one person in the guest waiting room, and it's time to bring this man up in. He's been Mr. Consistency as far as we're concerned. Brian Lemke, good evening.
How's it going?
Well, we're still waiting from our our well-needed admins for this league to find out who's won the title in both divisions. But again, a great way to bookend the series, despite the fact that Alessandrini came back and then decided, well, I'm going to do exactly what I did at week 1 and week 3.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, he's impossible to beat. And I pretty much finished second like the vast majority of the season. So it was fitting to end the season with another P2 in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, the rivalry that we've seen between you and Michael has just been absolutely glorious to watch all the way through from, when we started things off at week 1 back in mid-December of last year, and then here we are nearly 3 months later, ending the series. There's been some trials and tribulations for you both, hasn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. No, he feels like a permanent fixture on my relative in all these races. I mean, he's just always somewhere within a few seconds ahead or behind in all of these races. And we actually race in a whole bunch of other races together, and it's the exact same way. It's been a lot of fun racing with Michael this season, last season. Really enjoying the competitiveness of it. I think he has some good races. I have some good races. Some races were neck and neck. You never really know, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, now we know that there's going to be a short turnaround before season 27 gets going. I know that you guys are very, very busy. Of course, there's the Friday nights Apex, this MX5 Racing League, which has always been very entertaining whenever I've had the chance here on Racer Nexus to actually watch it. But you kept with one car for the majority of the season, a bit like Michael did. You did have a little bit of a spelunk in a Porsche, but the BMW seems to be in the words of Fatboy Slim, your weapon of choice, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've just enjoyed it. I don't know what it is about the way it drives, but it just fits me well. Although honestly, tonight I was kind of struggling. I made a lot of little mistakes, and I think I was pushing a little too hard. I fell behind Tom there early on, and then I was really probably overdriving, hoping to get back by him. And I just, yeah, a little bit off tonight, but I managed to finish second, which is fantastic. And I had a lot of fun racing Tom. I thought that was a really good, close 3, 4, 5 laps or whatever it was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, obviously we don't want to call people champions just yet because we want to have our admins do their due diligence and make sure that they get the points right before anything is confirmed. But Brian, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm looking forward to what season 27 is going to bring. Now I've got to ask you one question. Now, there has been a vote in the Discord about whether people can change cars or people stay in one car for the entirety of the next season. Can you please disclose if you were wanting to? You can plead the fifth on this one, my friend. Whether you'd want to stay in one car for the entirety of the series or have the opportunity to change car without any penalties coming your way.
Yeah, I prefer being able to change cars. I think it's better for like the new drivers. You know, people maybe want to test a car and then switch to something else. I don't There's no reason you should have to penalize them. And it seems like the vast majority of us now kind of have the car that we prefer. You know, certain people are always in the Mustang and certain people are always in the Beamer. So it's kind of gone that direction anyway. So I would like
Yeah.
to just see it open and just let anybody choose. But you know, we try to run polls as much as we can and get an idea of what other drivers are interested in. Our track lineup is all chosen, you know, by poll, and it's kind of the best of the best. You know, this is the 12 tracks that everybody voted on as their favorite tracks. And so we try to do the best we can as far as letting people decide. And it's been working. I mean, the grid numbers have been really good. The competition's been really good. So it's working really well right now.
Yeah, I think we could or maybe I could actually, there could be a third choice that if you're a newcomer, you have the choice on your first season to choose whatever car you want over the 12 weeks, and then for your second season, you have to lock in one car. So anyone new,
Yeah,
that could be a good one, couldn't it?
could do pros have to lock in a car and mid packs can choose and pick and choose. That's another way to do it as well. So
Yeah, exactly. So there you go, folks. Myself and Brian having a very, very comfortable and agreeable discussion about what the future could bring. But, buddy, no matter who's won the title, it's been absolutely great having you on board for the entirety of the 12-week series. Well done on every single race that you competed in. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank in particular?
yeah, both you guys, I've really enjoyed the broadcast all season long. Think they've been really fun to watch and go back. And you guys have done a phenomenal job. I think it was something kind of new that we added for this season on Tuesdays, and I'm really happy that we did. I think the broadcast brings a lot to the league and a lot to Tuesday nights. So I appreciate you guys doing all that, and Racer Nexus and Sky Lounge and Apex this and Apex Sim Shop and just all the everybody that makes this whole season run. It's just been so much fun. I really enjoy it. Hopefully everybody else does too.
Brilliant. Well, Brian, as always, it's a pleasure to speak to you, my friend. Congratulations on your second place here at the series finale for season 26, and I'm sure we'll come across each other's paths next season when we get going for season 27.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you guys. All 12 weeks would be ideal. So
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Brian. We'll see you next time, buddy. Well done tonight.
thank you. Have a good one.
Right, next up, let's bring in the man with the Technicolor Mustang. It is the man, the myth, the legend, none other than Michael Brock, who finishes in P3. Michael, good evening. Michael, can you hear us?
I saw him on the YouTube chat. He must have walked away for a minute.
Hang on a second. He's just undeafened himself. So, Michael, are you hearing us loud and clear? Right. I'm just going to drag him down a second and then bring him back up again. So hang on a second, folks. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, not on our side. Okay, so Jen's going to check in.
Oh.
Right, Michael, can you hear us?
He fell asleep in the rig.
Oh, dear.
I don't know. While we're trying to get Michael on here, I do have to say that of all the different podcasts...
Can you guys hear me now?
There he is.
Yeah, loud and, we read you 5x5, Michael. Good evening.
I see
How
what I
are
did.
you, buddy?
Yeah, push to talk. Okay.
No, but
all right, can you guys hear me now?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah,
all right, perfect.
Yeah,
sorry.
All right,
Alex and Chris up in the. Yeah, go on.
No, you
Chris,
go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, Michael, firstly, good evening. How have you been feeling this week? Are you not under the weather like you've been when you've been nearly battling and dying from?
Yeah, no, I know I'm perfectly healthy this time, so thankful of that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's cast your mind back when you had Gorman up your rear end, and then you dived to the inside, and then it all went horribly wrong.
Yeah, that was
went
bad.
Straight on at T5, buddy.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. Yeah, so I don't know. I just got super nervous. I think Joseph was next to me, Tom, and I kind of don't race that much with Tom, so I had the feeling that, I didn't know how aggressive he was going to be, so I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of lost track of where I was a little bit and broke late. But and then I knew I was just like gonna hope it I was just trying to like not murder somebody at that point, and I even like throttled into like the gap between Brian and DJ there. Like I didn't care if I hit a wall or something, but there happened to be a runoff there, so it kind of worked out.
But still, you managed to bookend the series with a P3 finish, despite the fact that Alessandrini romped away into the distance. And
he's a monster.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is that he hasn't been part of the story that you and Brian have been writing for all 12 weeks. And it came down, very, very close to the end. 10 points was the difference. You finished runner-up in the series. We've just actually had it all updated on the website that Brian took the title by 10 points. We just, literally, Kent has just posted in the GT4 Tuesday chat the results from the race itself. But still, to bookend with the podium is a nice way to bookend season 26, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't complain. This is a really fun season, and actually this race specifically, I mean, minus my really kind of crappy situation I put myself in, the first was like second lap or something. Then I went down to like, I don't even know, like P9 or something, and then my races, so I actually like worked my way up to third, so that was pretty fun.
Well, also you were one of the quickest fuelers as well, 19.7 seconds in comparison with Brian, who was there for 21.3. So you managed to take, you took a nice little bit of chunk out of time, nearly a second and a half, which helped the Mustang in terms of, but that move that we have to talk about on Thomas Lathrop, like you literally, you threaded the eye of the needle, dived to the inside at Canada corner, and then the doors kind of opened for Kevin Zhu, who was right on your rear bumper at the time. I mean, Kevin was giving you a bit of hell for leather, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, I don't think we got like a 0x contact, so I have to watch it back of how clean it was between me and Tom. It seemed like it was fine, at least from my end, but yeah, that's tough. It's so easy to get double passed on something like that, because he's kind of pushed wide, and although there's a bunch of marbles and stuff over there, so I mean, hey, Kevin Zhu did his thing and took advantage.
Oh, right. We've actually your good rival, Mr. Lemke said, I ran out of gas coming down pit lane. Oh dear, Brian was on fumes.
He was sputtering.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
But still, nevertheless, I mean, you got to look at it from this perspective. I'm looking at the stats now. This is before any penalties have been introduced after this race. Brian, 4 wins. You, 4 wins. Brian nipped you by just 1 podium. You matched each other on 8 top 5s. So, and yeah, you guys have started every single one of the 12 weeks. So that's including your 4 drop scores. But still, nevertheless, you've got to be happy with the fact that you gave Brian as good as you could all the way through season 26, buddy.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, he's super fast. Really, he doesn't make mistakes either too. So I'm learning a lot from just kind of driving with him and stuff. But no, it's been a great season. Yeah, I think like he was talking about how we're just like always around each other. Our pace is really similar usually, and a bunch of other guys on Apexes this as well. This has been super fun, and honestly, I'm looking forward to next season.
Brilliant. Well, Michael, before we let you go, it's been a pleasure speaking to you over the past 12 weeks in the booth. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to in particular, buddy?
My lovely wife Jen, as always, and then everyone else at Apex, and you guys behind the booth. Look forward to doing it again.
Brilliant. Michael, have a good one, buddy. We look forward to seeing you for season 27 when we get back underway here for GT4 Tuesdays. Well done tonight.
Yeah, thanks guys. Bye.
Okay, 2 more interviews to go on the Apex Sim Racing post-race show here on Racing Nexus, and we're going to bring in the man who took the victory in the mid-pack Larrys, and before any penalties, this man is at the top of the tree. Kyle Mavis, good evening.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
Right, now I know that you've been putting some notes in the Discord before Kent has put in final standings before penalties. Kyle Mavis, 152 points, which at this moment keeps you as the mid-pack Larry's champion for season 26 here on Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. 7 points ahead of Ryan Ryder, and Dan Corrido a further 2 points adrift. How does that sound?
Sounds good for now. Unfortunately, I think as you've seen in some of the chats we've been having here in the league chat, I had a little bit of an incident there with Dan, unfortunate and unintentional on the final corner of lap 1. I usually take that lap or that corner as a pretty late apex, really maximize speed onto the front straight. Kind of got alongside him there, and it kind of turned down, I thought, but looking at the replay, it kind of looks like he did. So since they're not going to look at the self-reports, I'm kind of thinking that at this point in time, we're going to leave it in the steward's hands, and I'll retract the report. If Dan wants to file one, I welcome him to. The penalty be stiffer against me, but I kind of feel like I was alongside at that spot. So it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate, not how I wanted it to end, but it's just what it's going to come down to. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, you guys, you were pretty much alongside each other. You were more than halfway along. So you still had the inside line on the corner. It's difficult sometimes for the angles that we have here on the broadcast. It looked like it was, to me, it looked more like a racing incident that you'd gone for the move. And sometimes, it could have been the fact that Dan may have, turned on in a little bit too much, could have opened up the steering possibly. But, if they're not going to look at it, we'll leave it at that in terms of that discussion. However, let's look at your stats. 5 wins, 7 podiums, 8 top 5s. And that's including your 4 drop scores. You must be thinking a way to bookend the series is to take a win in that division. That just goes to show the quality of the field that we have in the mid-pack Larry's, which is improving every single week, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no. It's always a challenge out there. I mean, I felt pretty fast in practice, and I think I was in the top 6 or at least top 7, I think, in practice, and then come qualifying time, and I'm 4th in the MPL alone, and I don't think I was even in the top 10 when we started there. So yeah, it was a field got fast. Field was running hard, and some great drivers out there. And again, like you said, they just keep getting better every week in, week out, and the fields keep getting deeper. I mean, how many drivers did we have this day? We were 30 drivers. That's fantastic. That's all you can ask for is a nice deep field with top talent. I see DJ came back to show us all how it's done. Just remind us that he's the man at the end of the day.
Yeah, typical Alessandrini, in and out like a whisper.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, him and Brian were both, within hundreds of a second of each other. They're both in the high 214s in qualifying. So it's just utterly impressive. And so to be able to come out here and wheel against guys like those and go back and review laps against one another and, have them kind of in practice, kind of follow, learn some lines. It's definitely made me faster this year and can't wait to come back next year.
Brilliant. Well, Kyle, well done, buddy. Congratulations. You've hit the top of the tree for MPL. Do you think that might mean that you're going to have to go up to the Going Pros for next season? Possibly.
I only expect that that's going to be the case. So, trying to take some time here, and especially in these last few wins, to battle out a little bit and kind of sharpen the knife a little bit against some of these guys that I'm going to be racing against next year. So, obviously, I had Russell Abraham kind of breathing down my neck, and I know he was taking it easy on me on the last few laps just because I don't think he was going to quite catch Thomas, but he, certainly didn't want to upset me and throw the race in the bin at the very last second. But I'm going to have guys like him and everybody else breathing down my neck all next year. So don't expect to be putting 5 wins on the board or 6 wins on the board or whatever it was this year or next year. But looking forward to having fun in the mid pack of the pros with some of the great drivers. So looking forward.
Well done tonight, Kyle. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to in particular?
Just want to thank you guys, Ken, and the people that run the league. This is the first league that I ever joined on the advice of my buddy John Monsalve on the MX5 Cup stuff. Fell into the GT4s and I can't stop. I mean, as you saw, I made every round for this event. I pushed things out of the way to make sure and do it just because, it's just the best racing out there. And I can't wait to come back next season. Hope you guys are back broadcasting well. So thanks again to you guys and everybody else for making this available to us.
Brilliant. Kyle, well done. We'll see you for season 27. Well done.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Okay, one final interview to wrap up the last Apex Sim Racing post-race interview show here on Racer Nexus for Apex This GT4 Tuesdays. And let's bring in the man in the number 92 Ford Mustang, Anthony Barranco. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Well,
yes, I can.
Yeah, 10th place. Managed to get there as a podium finisher in this round of Apex This GT4 Tuesdays. How are you feeling, first of all?
Feeling good. It was a pretty entertaining end of the season. I've only been here since last week was my first race for this league, so seeing how fast and consistent everybody was. I mean, I think I started 13th and I finished 11th. So I mean, not much happened ahead of me, and seemed like everything happened behind. But we kept our noses fairly clean and picked up a couple spots. We'll take it and use it as momentum to leap into next year or next season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a difficult track for a season finale here at Road America. You've really got to be able to turn it on a sixpence, and you've got to have eyes in the back of your head, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. The fast corners with the GT4 platform, definitely being more lively than what I'm used to driving. Definitely keeps you on your toes for sure. I built up a little bit of a sweat there.
But still, how's the Mustang handling around there? Because it looked like your car came back without a scratch on it.
I had a couple close moments in the early part of the race with a couple of the guys I was racing around. I think it was like Russell and Roman. After we kind of got our gap set, really didn't. I had a couple deep overshoots into turn 5, but yeah, other than that, the car kept it clean, and that's how we managed to end up where we ended up. And it was unfortunate to see I was right behind Kyle and Dan when they had their little incident there on lap 1, and then whatever happened to Matt. So we definitely didn't qualify where we finished, but just being clean kept us in it.
Brilliant. Well, well done on finishing 10th overall, Anthony. But before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to in particular?
Hey, just congrats to the champions of the divisions. Thank you to you guys for putting on this broadcast. I had my son. He was watching. He's watched the last couple races now, and he's my biggest fan. So shout out to my son Grayson in the background, cheering me on and pulling for me. And thanks to the league organizers. And we'll see you guys next season in a couple weeks.
Brilliant. Anthony, thanks for your time, and we look forward to speaking to you again, hopefully very soon. Well done tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Well, I did say that might have been the last interview, but there is someone who's just jumped into the waiting room. I don't think we've chatted to this man very much, but as things stand, he's ended up as the runner-up in the mid-pack Larrys. We welcome in the 181, Ryan Ryder. Good evening, buddy. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Well, that's a good way to cap off the series. You finished 13th overall, but looks like you've jumped Dan Corrido in the mid-pack Larry's division standings at the end of it all, finishing ahead of him by 2 points.
Yeah, it's a very close finish, wasn't it?
It was indeed. I think we saw a lot of drivers, including Dan, having dramas of their own. But like Anthony, who we've just spoken to, you kept your nose pretty clean in the 181 Mustang, didn't you?
Um, yeah, for the most part. Maybe 4 off tracks this race is kind of annoying. But I guess in the end, I still got that clean race bonus.
Yeah, that doesn't that does help a little bit, especially with the amount of points you get for that. But still, it's been a tough one in the mid pack, Larry. It's been so competitive this season in season 26, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it's plenty of good races, plenty of good battles, but all of it was just catching Kyle Mavis in the points essentially.
Yeah, you got to within, I think it was 7. So it was 152 plays 145 for yourself. So nevertheless, I mean, what were your sort of aspirations coming into the 12 weeks? Where were you hoping that you would end up at the end of the series?
Honestly, I didn't have a goal or set. I mean, of course, the goal is to win, but I was just here for fun. I enjoy racing. I enjoy the battles. I'm competitive, sure, but I enjoy having a good race. But after the first couple of races, I realized how well I was doing. I put more focus into it, more heat, in a sense.
Yeah. But still, enjoying the racing, getting P2, it seems like the clean bonus got you into second place. So that was a bit of an upshot there for you to have that little extra bit of bonus at the end of it all. But still, nevertheless, looking forward to the next season up ahead for GT4s.
Yep, I'll be there.
Brilliant. Well, Ryan, thanks so much for chatting to us in the Apex Sim Racing post-race interview show here on Racer Nexus, and we look forward to seeing you next season in a couple of weeks' time.
But thank you for having me, and I'll be there.
Well, that rounds out the Apex Sim Racing post-race interview show. A big thank you to Apex Sim Racing Shop for their assistance in this league, as always. If you want to get a cheeky 5% discount on any purchases, you can head to the referral link down in the description below and use the code RacerNexus as your coupon to get a 5% discount off of anything you buy from Apex Sim Racing Shop. If you want to get involved with Apex the leagues, so they have the Sunday MX5 Cup action, which is going to be happening on March the 8th for their final round of the series. Still plenty to come up here on the Racer Nexus broadcast side of things on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, we are getting closer and closer to 700 subscribers. We've posted probably the best part of nearly 300 broadcasts and videos so far. Don't forget to give us a like, share, and subscribe. Chris, well, that was one heck of a season finale for season 26 of Apex This GT Racing. Was GT4 Racing on Tuesdays, wasn't it, buddy?
Yeah, that was just a lot of fun. We knew coming into the night it was going to be a fantastic race, especially coming down between Lemke and Michael there for the championship. And Kyle's just been so consistent all year. Congratulations to him too. But really, thanks to really got to thank everybody at Apex S for having us. It's just been one of my favorite leagues to cover all season for sure. We get back to the week week 13 next week and come back probably in a couple of weeks. But the one thing I want to say is to Michael Brock. Michael, you got one of the best cheerleaders out there. I think every race that I cover, I need Jen to just follow us around and just cheer in the chat for somebody in the race. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, it's fun. Alex, we've talked off mic a lot about the Apexes and just how much we enjoy this league, and really thanks to all these guys, and thanks to you for just a fantastic season, and look forward to the next one.
Yes, indeed. Coming up on Racer Nexus in the coming days this week here in the second week of March, well, the first week officially of March, we've got Tobacco Road Sim Racing Next Gen Series Week 2. Season 2, Week 7 gets aired on March the 4th at Talladega. Then the American Sim Racing League Sports Car Championship heads to Barber Motorsports Park for Week 6 on the very same evening. And then we've got Special Stage League Pro Trucks Season 11, and it's Week 1 where they will be heading to Wild West and Crandon. We have to say on behalf of myself, Alex Goldschmidt, Adam Gladfelter, and also the entire team at Racer Nexus, we have to say a big thank you to everyone at Apex this for allowing us to broadcast what has been a fantastic 12-week campaign for Season 26 live here on the Racer Nexus Broadcast Network. And really, folks, that is it from myself, Alex, from Chris, from Adam, from all the team here at Racer Nexus. We're looking forward to Season 27, which should be starting in a couple of weeks' time on your regular Tuesday nights. So until next time, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, like here at Road America, well, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.